Thanks for joining us and stay with us on the conversation. And earlier on, we're discussing Malawi's independence journey. Right now, we take a quick dash to West Africa, Nigeria, where on Tuesday evening, we saw an attack at one of the biggest prisons, the Kuje prison in Nigeria, where about 600 inmates escaped from the prison. And right now, we have our Abuja Chief Bureau in Nigeria, Amadin Uyi, who is going to give us updates on what is going on at the moment. Thank you so much, Amadin, for joining us on the conversation.
Thank you very much.
So earlier on, while we saw you on the news, you talked about the president visiting Kuje prison. Has there been any statement from the presidency following his visit?
No, not yet. We've not received any statement from the presidency, but we expect one very, very soon because 30 minutes ago, Mr. President arrived at the scene of the prison break, the prison attack, and he inspected the facilities, inspected the extent of damage. Shortly after that, he came with his crew. Shortly after that, he left the prison facility. Though he did not speak to the press, usually as his custom is, his SSA publicity, Gabriel would now release a statement informing Nigerians on the thoughts of Mr. President regarding the issue.
Now, what was the mood of the environment and residents after the attack and after the president's visit? Did it bring some sort of calm to the area with the president's visit?
Now, after the out, though the business have resumed as usual at the area, but everybody is apprehensive because there's been several security patrols, and the prison officials are trying to, they've launched a manhunt for the escaped prisoners. They are trying to see how many they can recover before they can cause harm to the society. But from what we have gathered, several of them are still at large, and so the manhunt continues.
And talking about the manhunt, Amadin, I don't know if you can confirm to us, because we see reports that the DCP, Abba Kyari, and of course all the VIPs held in the facility did not escape. You were there at the facility. Do you have any reports to validate it or actually oppose this report that we're having?
Now, the present official does not want to give details of the whereabouts of Abba Kyari. Though we are the whispers among several of them that he was not among them that escaped, that even that his location, he has been relocated to another location of which the prison officials refuse to confirm or refuse to give us the whereabouts of the new location. But from what we have gathered, he's not one of them that is on the run. But these have not also been confirmed by the prison officials, but we'll be expecting a statement from them also. We spoke to the PRO of the Nigeria Correctional Service, who did not want to give much more information. He said because the Controller General of the prison service was around and he was looking up to the Controller General to make any statement. But now that all the senior government officials who have come earlier in the morning have left the vicinity, we'll be hoping that more information will begin to trickle out now that Mr. President also has also come to the scene.
All right, thank you, Martin. Earlier, you also reported heavy security presence around the area. I wonder, is it due to the president's visit or are these security agencies still there even after the president left the vicinity?
No, we still saw checkpoints within Kuje town, and we still saw patrols. The prison officials have been patrolling. You know, the prison, they have their own armed squad. They have their own security that manages the affairs of the prison. The armed squad are also responsible for tracking down these escaped convicts and bringing them back to the facility. We saw several patrol vehicles. We even saw some members of the armed squad returning prisoners back to the facility. But as we were going, we observed that the patrols were still on. The police too is also doing an area patrol with his helicopters and also trying to assist its boots on ground, because right now is a joint and combined effort. It's not only the effort of the prison officials, but we have the Nigeria Police, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, and also we have the Nigerian Army, the unit of the Nigerian Army known as the Guards Brigade, that is meant to protect the Federal Capital Territory. They too, they are also involved.
All right, I think that is very quite interesting to see that we still have security presence around the area, and of course, it's going to bring a sort of calm to the area. But you were also there at the prison facility. Can you tell us the status of the facility and the level of damage done at that particular area?
Now, security has been beefed up. Several of the armed forces, everybody's on edge. But fortunately, they were able to allow the press to a certain area outside the prison facility, though they did not allow anybody inside the prison complex. Because according to them, the prison rule says that no camera should be allowed into the complex. But we stayed outside. We saw a lot of them, security there on edge around the prison premises because you know, a lot of these people, many of them are convicted criminals. Many of them are persons who have been convicted, persons who are facing several jail time. It's a medium security facility. And in fact, the information we had was that there's a section that also holds for maximum security offenses. So we heard earlier on that there were several terrorists, several members of the Boko Haram state who have been arrested and convicted, who are serving their jail term there, several members of the Islamic State of West Africa. So everybody's on edge because once you have these people back into the federal capital, the seat of power of Nigeria, where you have foreign diplomats, senior government officials, then you know that is a big problem for Nigeria's international image because you don't know the next thing that these convicted persons will do.
All right, as a result of the attack, has there been any report of any life lost, or it's just damages that we have at the facility?
Yes, we saw that, first of all, the outer fence area was blown with explosives. Then the main prison facility, several parts of it was also brought down with explosives. And we saw several damaged people, several saloon cars, which were touched by the terrorists. And then we saw several dead bodies. We heard that a personnel of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps was shot by the terrorists. Then we saw about 3 or 4 dead bodies that, though they did not allow the press access the area where they were on the ground, but from a distance you could see them. Those were probably caught in the crossfire when the incident was going on. But that was just the damage. We could not enter inside the facility to get the extent of damage inside. But from what we saw, several of the outer perimeter fences were brought down.
Now, while you went to the facility, for the sake of our viewers, how would you describe the vicinity of the Kuje prison? Because a lot of people are wondering how these so-called, we call it bandits or terrorists, or all these so-called attackers could actually get into the prison. So how would you describe the vicinity of the Kuje prison?
First of all, let's talk about the attack. From the attack, it was a well-coordinated attack. And so no matter how strong, how much security you have, I think the terrorists did their homework very well. They knew the amount of resistance they would meet. So what they did was that they came in superior numbers, superior firepower, explosives. And so, you know, it's just common sense. When you have, if you have up to 50 or 100, 50 to 100 personnel guarding a facility, and you have terrorists coming in their numbers over 300, definitely you know it's a big problem, especially when they are coming with superior firepower. But before now, the Kuje Medium Correctional Facility, it has a certain level of security because it's not one you could just go in and out. From outside, there's a checkpoint, and if you don't have any business, you're not even be allowed within the vicinity. So I think all in all, it was a very planned and coordinated attack, which unfortunately was successful. It's back for Nigerian security agencies to go back to their drawing board, sit down and look at themselves where our security agencies got it wrong and try to make corrections.
All right. Thank you so much, Amadin Uyi, for the update. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That was Amadin Uyi, Abuja Chief Bureau, who brought us updates on the happenings at the Kuje prison, where about 600 inmates are declared to have escaped from the prison following an attack. We'll bring you details of that subsequently on News Central TV News Bulletins.